Welcome. Today I will be paraphrasing, summarizing, and sharing on the November 19th Al-Anon readings in Courage to Change and a Little Time to Myself. We'll begin with a serenity prayer and 3 mindful breaths. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. I'll take a moment to look this over. The question of the day is, what helps free me from feelings of isolation? And the passage is about this person growing up feeling like because their alcoholic parents didn't want them talking about the issues at home, they felt very isolated. And they didn't know of anyone else who was going through the same, this person didn't know of anyone else that was going through the same thing as they were. But when they came to Al-Anon, they realized that focusing on what everyone in Al-Anon has in common rather than what differences they have has made a big difference. This person mentions principles above personalities, which is something that we hear a lot of in Al-Anon. And today's reminder talks about loving and accepting ourselves. When we do that, it's easier to love and accept others, especially the alcoholic or substance abuser in our life. And then the quote is from Courage to Change, and it's talking about how we really belong. Everyone belongs when we're in Al-Anon. So what helps free me from feelings of isolation? Going to meetings, talking to Al-Anon people, conference-approved literature, talking to people I trust, people I feel like I connect with, doing things that I enjoy. I would even say listening to music. How about you? What helps free you from feelings of isolation? I can say that when I first came to Al-Anon, it was I think I've gotten accustomed to it now, but the feeling of immense relief of realizing that nothing I could say would shock the people in Al-Anon. They'd seen it all before. They'd seen worse even. And not feeling like an outsider based on the issues I was having at the time that brought me to Al-Anon. That was a huge relief. So I'm grateful every single day, no exaggeration. Moving on. Taking a moment to read. this reading is beautiful, and it's talking about first coming to Al-Anon and and realizing that this person realized that they were trying to control, they were enabling, and they were caretaking, they were fixing, they were doing all the things, but then came to realize that what they really came to Al-Anon for was an overall sense of well-being. And then getting more into the program, they realized that Al-Anon at first helped them survive, but then it really helped them to thrive and live a rich and fulfilling life. Emotional, physical, and spiritual health. And today's reminder talks about getting a more broad idea of what recovery means. And the quote is from the 12 Steps and Traditions, talking about life is all about mental and spiritual growth. And again, I feel like the two readings are connected. Because I think for sure when I first came to Al-Anon, it was about survival. It was getting from one day to the next. And I suppose, I've never been in a situation as acute as that. However, I do have feelings like going into meetings. I do feel like, oh gosh, I can't wait to get to my meeting. And then sitting in my meeting, I just feel such an amazing connection with what people are saying. And it's exactly what I need to hear. It's like my higher power is communicating through the people who are sharing. And even things that I hear in the opening and the closing and in the conference approved literature that's shared at the meeting, like if someone's using a reading as a topic for the meeting, even though I've read this book over 10 times, every time I read it, every day, I find something new, a different level of the onion, and it further enriches my life. And it's just a miracle that I am constantly grateful for. And I know that no matter what happens in my life, I can manage it better because of what I've learned in Al-Anon and the fact that I do have a fellowship in Al-Anon. And I'm talking about all kinds of issues. Like right now, I'm not dealing with substance abuse, but I'm dealing with similar feelings of not being in control with my dad and my stepmom as far as my stepmom's dementia. And and that's just something that's really close to me, but also things happening around me all the time that I don't have control over. And it's so nice to be able to rely on what I learned in Al-Anon to help me feel emotional, physical, and spiritual grounding and calm and serenity. We'll close out with the serenity prayer and 3 mindful breaths. Here we go. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Thank you so much for joining me today. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Sending you love. Take care.